Afternoon, everybody. Kendall here, back from Arkansas with chigger bites everywhere. If you do not know what a chigger is, count yourself blessed, because chiggers are not so fun. Chiggers are definitely not so fun. I've lived in Texas for 11 years now, and I was really proud of myself because I thought that this was going to be the first year out of 11 that I was not going to get chiggers. And then I went to Arkansas, and I got chiggers from one little walk out on the golf course. I ended up getting chiggers all over the place. Not as bad as what I've had in the past, but let me tell you, they are just nasty little boogers. I mean, it's just like scratch. Oh, this is horrible. But that's not what today's topic is about. Not what today's topic is about at all. It's not about chiggers. It's not about bugs. It's not about anything of that nature at all. I was thinking about some of the lessons over the weekend and thoughts and everything, and I'm actually going to write an article for my Addison Bell and I started a website called sexcentered.com, and this is where we're putting all of our sexual based education content and everything over there. So tons of our collaborated articles and everything are over there as well. But I just saw her not that long ago and told her, I said, I have got this article brewing inside of me called "This is Why She Does Not Want Your Sex." And I am going to be writing an article on this topic so that I can go maybe a little bit more into feeling on it, into depth about it, and maybe get some more content out to you guys about it. But as many of you know, I have been a sex and relationship coach, educator for the last decade plus, and over just the last few years, I've really rolled my practice, my coaching business, into mompreneurs, entrepreneurs, helping people who are small business owners, entrepreneurs, and everything, got side hustles, leveling up their world, their life, and drawing an income. So I've moved more into business and everything, and more into that what I refer to as that fuck yes life, which is about having a blissful state of being in all areas of your life. Well, our sex still plays a significant role in creating that fuck yes lifestyle. It's not just about business. It's not just about travel. It's not just about, family and all that good stuff. It's about every piece. And that is where I pull that tantric piece in, because Tantra is all about weaving all of life together and finding bliss in every single part. So I take out all the deities, all of that kind of stuff, and I just get right down to the root of what Tantra is, which is the weaving together of all of life and finding the bliss in each aspect. So with that, again, back to sex we go. A lot of people think that Tantra is just about sex. I always tell people, I'm like, you are so off base. That is Neo-Tantra. Neo-Tantra is a very sexual focused practice. It is about sex. It is about body work. It is just about that one piece of Tantra. Here's the truth about Tantra. Think Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama practices Tantra. You don't think amazing sexual positions and full body orgasms when you say Dalai Lama, do you? No. I mean, I'm sure the man probably has some great experiences, but they just don't parallel. Not in most people's minds. We don't look at the Dalai Lama as a sex symbol. We look at him as an enlightened individual, right? A master teacher that we still have here. So, with that note, what Tantra is, the sexual piece of Tantra, is about 5, 6, 7, maybe 10% at times of what Tantra really teaches and educates and what the practice is about. So, how does this relate to "This is Why She Does Not Want Your Sex"? Well, this really is going out to all you guys out there, or all of you partners of women out there who wonder, why is it that my lady just isn't that into sex a lot of the time? Why is she not into sex most of the time? Why is she sometimes really turned on, and other times dead as dead can be, or even angry about sex? Like, I say, hey baby, let's go do this. I kiss on her. I try to make things move right, and I get the door slammed in my face sexually. Why is that? So, as you know, I was away for a few days up to Hot Springs, and there were 3 couples that went up to Hot Springs together, and to my oldest 2 daughters, them and their gentleman, and then me and my guy, and we had tons of kids, like everybody has kids, so we got baby, and we've got basically 6 children under the age of 6 in the house, plus 3 teenagers, plus the 3 couples. And it really was not a turned on trip. Go figure, right? It was not a turned on trip. There was tons of different pressures and stresses that was upon the different households and the house in general. One person was going through some financial stuff. One person was just not feeling that great, was physically not feeling that great. You know, it was just like numerous stuff. And then you add in the hustle and the bustle of all the kids, the upkeep of a house that's not yours because we rented a house, right? So trying to make sure that nothing gets damaged there and everything, so we don't want to hurt somebody else's property, being respectful, making sure that everything's taken care of, making sure that the kids aren't fighting, nobody's getting hurt because we're out in the middle of the woods and, you know, stuff can happen. And then it was, of course, the children are very excited and they're not sleeping on their regular schedules and food and us not being in that state of comfort and peace. So there was lots of things going on. Then you throw in heat, you throw in irritability, travel time, you know, all this kind of stuff. And here's the funny thing. Just the observation was that all of the gentlemen were turned on. All of the men were turned on in this moment. And the women were not turned on. The women, we were kind of like, no, we've got this to do, all this stuff to do. And sex, intimacy, connection is the last freaking thing on my plate, on my desire list. Matter of fact, man, I'm not even feeling it. And I know that my one daughter, she was just like, why will he not stop asking for it? You know, like he's just being pissy about it because he didn't get his today. And she's just like, I'm a no. I am a F no to this. I'm not interested. I don't want it. And the more he pushes me, the less I want it. The more he gets pouty, the more he gets grumpy, the more he brings it up, the less I want it. And that's exactly the truth there. Okay, so if you've been wondering, like, why is she not into my sex that much? Well, often it's because she's really just not feeling it. If a woman's not turned on, if a woman's not in a state of peace and can really get into her body, if she's caught up in here in worry and anxiety, in stress and frustration, and she's really fatigued. I know my case was I was just really, really tired. I've been just burning the candle at both sides. And I just was like, no, I'm a no. Then, you know, I got my hormones going on and all that kind of stuff. And I was trying to communicate that, you know, and unfortunately with my daughters, all of our cycles we all just kind of cycled together. So it was hormone central over the weekend going on where everybody's energy was just dipping. Their hormones were dipping. And here's the thing. Sometimes when that happens, a lot of the time when that happens, what happens is that a woman's just not that turned on. Like, she's just too moody. She's dealing with depression. She's dealing with anger that she doesn't know where it's coming from. She's dealing with feeling frumpy. She's dealing with feeling bloated. Her muscles are hurting her. She's emotional without reason, and she has no idea about it. You add in fatigue to the picture, and it is really going to knock her out where she's really not feeling. And guess what? Fatigue makes the hormones go crazy even more, okay? And then you add in stress and anxiety and worry and the different things that can be going on in life where it's just like I talked about, like we didn't have anything major happen, but we had a lot of children under the age of 6 in the house, so that was just a lot of high energy and a lot of just stress and maintenance going on. And then the taking care of the house and everything and the planning of food, and it seems like that shouldn't be that big of a deal because you're always dealing with kids and you're always dealing with food and you're always dealing with maintenance of a house and all that kind of stuff. Completely different story when you're in somebody else's house and it's not your house. Completely different story. You're in a different town, you're in a different home, you're you know, pulled up together with other people and everything. So a lot of different tension and stress going on. Now on a day-to-day basis, when you're back home and everything, as women, we ebb and we flow. A lot of women, and I can tell you this because of the thousands of couples that I have helped and worked with over the course of the last decade at this point, the majority of the time when a guy will come in and say, All we need to do is have more sex. That's going to fix our relationship problems. If we have more sex, then it's going to fix our relationship problems. If she would just get into it, I think there's like, how do I get her into it? But what he's not realizing is that in order to get her into it, it's going to require time and energy from him of how to clear off her table, how to reduce the stressors, how to take things away that are causing her to be up here and not be able to get into her body. Okay? The woman has to be in her embodied. She has to embody herself and not be caught up in her mind, because when a woman goes into her mind, we don't feel anything here, okay? It is basically like washing your hands. Actually, washing your hands sometimes might be a little bit better, but it is like washing your hands. It is just like there's just nothing there. It is a non-orgasmic state of being when we're stuck in our head and not into our body at all. A guy, sex is happening outside the body. You get the show. You get the whole, whoa, whoa, she's tossing her hair this way. Her mouth is open like that. Her body's arching like that. Her breasts are falling like that. I see the jiggle. I see the wiggle. I have the feeling. I have all this different kind of stuff. It's a very visual process for a man. The majority of women are not visual based in their sex. They are internal based in their sex. They close their eyes to go into their body, and that is how they tap in so that they can feel, so that they can connect. If she can't do that because of all this crap going on up here, it's just not going to happen. And the more you beg, the more you plead, the more you get pissy about it and throw your 2-year-old tantrum or say, all we need to do is have more sex, it's just going to cause her the stress of, okay, now I'm not even being good here. Maybe I should just give it to him, which is why the majority of women just give the sex to the guy, because she's just trying to appease him. Otherwise known as pity sex, otherwise known as duty sex, otherwise known as I'm just not into it sex, but fine, just let's get it over with. Let's make this quick because I just don't feel it. I don't feel you. My heart's not in it. My soul's not in it, and therefore my body's not in it, because I don't even remember what the smell of an orgasm is like for myself. A lot of women, over 70% of women, I believe is what the statistics are, that over 70% of women do not have orgasms during sex. That is a really big number. I know that a lot, all the people that I see typically when they come to me for sexual challenges of that nature, the woman will say, I haven't had an orgasm with my partner for the last 3 years, 10 years, 9 years, whatever it might be. I have one woman, she went 26 years of her marriage without having an orgasm. 26 years. And her husband wondered why she didn't want to have sex for the last 10 of it. And she was just like, I just am done just handing my body over and letting it be a masturbation tool. I can't do it. I'm bitter. I'm angry. I'm hurting. We have a lot of dysfunctions, sexually speaking, for us women. I'm a firm believer that a lot of those dysfunctions, such as vaginal prolapse and other things of that nature, is because that us women, we are guilty of the duty sex. We hand it over just to shut them up, just to appease our partner, to make it right, and we don't actually speak our truth of, I'm not into it, I need time, I need space, I need some stress release, I need a good night's sleep, I need help with the children, I need help with the chores, I need help with, I need the financial pressure off my back, I need to be able to have a little bit of time for myself to go and take care of myself. Because here's another thing, a woman's not feeling good about her body, if she's not feeling good about how she looks, how she feels, she's not going to be into sex. Okay? Guys can have sex no matter what. You guys are always ready to go. You're always ready for it. It doesn't much matter. It's like boom. Woman, not the case at all. Not the case at all. So that's just a few reasons as to why she may not be that much into your sex. That is just a few of the very, very many reasons. But I tell you, the majority of the reasons why women are not into sex, if they love their partner, if they are with a person that they love and they care for, and they're not looking to, and are not often and exploring other things, the reason why they're not into sex is number one, stress. Number two, disconnect from their partner because they don't feel supported either emotionally, mentally, physically, or financially. They have some lack there where they're not being supported, which is causing stress. Stress will then cause anxiety and worry. These things will keep a woman in her head and never allow her to embody herself. The next things that are going to be causing her not to want to have sex is her hormones. Guess what? Stress messes up hormones. Yeah, fatigue. There is an epidemic of mothers that I just read a report. Actually, my daughter, my oldest daughter, who just had a baby, she was telling me that she read this. She read an article last month or whatever, and it was a whole article on moms being overly fatigued at this point because they are burning the candle at both sides, and it is that, you're taking care of the kids, you're taking care of the house, you're working a job, and you're just not getting any sleep at all. Well, fatigue is going to mess up hormones. It definitely doesn't breed for an area of wanting to be turned on at all. The last thing a woman wants to do when she is that exhausted and that physically and emotionally drained is to have sex, okay? Sex typically, even though it's a great stress release, it's not a great stress release when you are tipped over and you are in the red in your bank account, in your emotions, or with your physical energy level. When you are in that red zone, then guess what? You are depleted to a level that sex is not going to fix it. Sex will deplete you even more, especially when you are saying yes, when you're actually a fuck no. Yeah. So, what we got? Stress. We've got hormones. We've got fatigue, okay? And we have just basic connection, intimacy. If we're not feeling the intimacy, if we're not getting our needs met in that way, the turn-on's not going to be there. We're just not going to feel connected. But the sad truth is that a man can go and try to fill the intimacy and the connection bracket all day long, but if the woman is fatigued, if she's stressed, and if her hormones are messed up, you can feel that intimacy, you can feel that connection, you can do everything right. And if those three things are not in balance or not in harmony, then she's not going to be able to really appreciate this, and she's still not going to be that into your sex. So I hope that this was helpful. I am off to grandma duty, and I will write an article on this very topic. I see a couple people popping in and on and off on here. So if you have any comments on this topic, please share in the comments section. I always love hearing your words. If I touched you in any way, made you think of somebody, answered a question, had an aha moment for you there, make sure that you let me know. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure to let me know in the comment section that you caught it on the replay as well. You can always follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com. Make sure that if you are local to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, that you go on to kendalwilliams.com and you click on events, because on this very topic that I just spoke of, I have tons and tons of workshops coming up over the next couple of months, and actually throughout the whole year. I've got a whole bunch of beautiful workshops coming up around female sexuality and empowerment. So check in on the events tab if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Otherwise, if you're not, catch me on blogs, on online programs, message me here, let's connect, let's get your sex rocking again, ladies, okay? Guys, if you need help figuring your woman out, let me know. As always, stop existing, start living, and I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee.